A warm good evening, Ma'am Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. Before I start off with the module, I have a confession to make. Once upon a time, I was so scared of speech evaluation. The thought of evaluating experienced speakers scared me. But don't worry, it happens with all of us. But my perspective changed 2 years back when I became the District 41 Speech Evaluation Contest finalist. I realized that speech evaluation can be mastered by anyone with hard work and persistence. I too went through that journey. I had to listen to a lot of speeches, read books, practice a lot of mock evaluation until I could reach that level. But it is possible for all of you with constant practice and determination. So, my job here is to share some tips and tricks that I learned during my speech evaluation journey. So, let's begin. And let me start sharing my screen. First of all, let us understand what is speech evaluation. Speech evaluation means you are giving feedback to a speech. In other words, you are not just giving generalized feedback, you are giving a constructive feedback to a speech. Here, you give a comprehensive analysis of the positive points in a speech, the improvement areas, and not just what are the positive points and what are the improvement areas, also how a speaker can improve upon. And that brings me to the next topic, that is, what are the skills of a good evaluator? First, as an evaluator, you need to be an intense observational. You need to clearly observe the speech aspects, like how was the opening, how was the body structured, how was the pausing, pacing, how was the body language, and so on. After observing, you need to analyze it in depth. You need to see whether the opening was appropriate, the body is structured well, the transition is right, and so on. Once you have observed and analyzed the basic crafts of a speech, you need to see how you can clearly articulate it, how you are going to deliver it in front of the audience. Clear articulation is a combination of proper use of words, the right choice of words. Number two, clear and crisp phrases. And number three, the empathetic tone. We here at Toastmasters encourage the evaluators to give positive feedback and encouraging feedback. So you need to have an empathetic tone so that the speaker will be encouraged to come back onto the stage and give an improvised version of the speech. The speaker don't get discouraged listening to the feedback. So we'll talk more about the delivery aspect in the coming slides. Now, let's start with observation and analysis of a speech. As an evaluator, what are the main components of the speech you need to observe? You need to start with the opening. Then start with the type of speech, body structure, transition, whether the speaker has used personal stories or analogies to enhance the value of the speech. How is the pause and pacing in the speech? How is the body language used? What is the conclusion? Has the speaker used a prop to enhance the delivery of the speech? How is the speaker's language, grammar, pronunciation, or any other aspect as well? Let's look into each of these aspects one by one. Let's see how we can analyze them. So as an evaluator, you need to keep these things in mind and make a note of them side by side when you're evaluating a speech. Number one, coming to the type of speech. Why a type of speech is important? Because when you know what kind of speech the speaker is delivering, you know what aspects you need to focus upon. Some speech focus on the statistics. Informational speech especially focuses on statistics, facts, and figures. Then comes the persuasive speech. persuasive speech, what do you mean by persuasive speech? Here, the speaker tries to convince the audience on a particular viewpoint. For example, let me take a topic like death penalty. So if a speaker is telling, should death penalty be abolished? There could be varied views from the audience, but the speaker is putting forth his or her view. So that forms a persuasive speech. Coming to a motivational speech inspires the audience to change a habit or change a behavior. For example, if the speaker gives a speech on top 10 habits of highly successful people, the audience at the end of the speech have a takeaway message to change a habit or a behavior. They'll implement any of these habits. So that forms a motivational speech. Then coming to humorous speech, as the name suggests, it tends to tickle your funny bones. Anything could be a humorous speech. It could be a life incident. It could be a sarcastic take on your own failure in life. It could be time spent with your pets and so on. Now, if I have to talk about many types of speech other than that is involved, the major aspect, you can give speech on travel. Travel, you have traveled anywhere, you can just share your experience. Also, you can give a speech on the time spent with your loved ones. So that will come under the any other category. So first, identify the type of speech. Once you have identified the type of speech, you need to see how is the speech opening. So why is the speech opening important? A speech opening forms the first impression in front of the audience. If the speech opening is good, it hooks the audience and they will be more interested to listen to your entire speech. So what you need to observe in a speech opening, is it intriguing? Is it dramatic, suspenseful? This happens when you come out with a role play or when you come out with a shocking question or a shocking statement. If it is innovative, maybe the speaker has started using a prop in the beginning and formed an analogy. So first observe if the speech opening is out of box. If you feel a speaker's speech opening is out of box, make a note of it. Now coming to the speech body. A speech body, you need to see if the speech body has well-structured ideas. For example, if the speaker has used a chronology, if the speaker first speaks about the past, present, and future, or if the speaker has used the technique of what is the problem, how to solve the problem, and way ahead, or how, what, when, where technique. No matter what technique the speaker uses, it should make sense. It should be well organized and logically arranged, and the audience should be able to demarcate the different parts of the body. So make a note of this. Now coming to the transition aspect of a speech. What does transition indicate? Transition indicates the change in the idea in a speech. It could be two different paragraphs. So two different paragraphs talk about two different ideas. So one way that the speaker can do this is by using words like however, but, although, firstly, secondly, thirdly. So make sure you catch these small transition words. Number two, the speaker can also make use of questions which act as smart transitions. A question is also an innovative way to gather the attention of the audience, and the audience get to know, yes, the speaker is going to the next idea. So make sure that you capture these transition elements in your speech evaluation. Then this is a very interesting aspect of a speech, that is personal stories. Everyone has some story to share. It could be success story, it could be even failure story, it could be just an experience. stories make your speech very relatable, engaging, and mesmerizing. See if the speaker has added story to support the statement that he or she is making, and the story should be such a way that it adds value to the speech. You cannot just put in any story that you find, but it should add value to the speech and it should enhance the deliverability of the speech. Next, coming to analogy. What is an analogy? Analogy is an element which is used to compare two items. It makes the meaning of a point very clear. It makes the comparison very clear. For example, simile deals with direct comparison. Metaphor, it deals with indirect comparison between two objects or people. Personification is nothing but you are giving the characteristics of characteristics of living beings to an object. So these make the speech very engaging, very interesting to see if the speaker has used it. And I have seen that many speech evaluators tend to miss out on these minute aspects. This requires intense observation. And if you can point out these minute aspects in a speech evaluation, your evaluation will definitely stand out. Now coming to pauses and pacing. Pauses will help your audience to digest what the speaker has spoken. And the pacing is how fast or slow the speaker is speaking. If it is too fast, the message will be unclear. If it is too slow, it gets boring. So make sure that the speaker has used the right pacing and right pauses and appropriately pointed out in the evaluation. Now coming to the tone. How has the speaker used the tone to represent different situations? If the speaker is happy, has he shown a joyful mood? If the speaker is sad, has he shown that in his voice and in his expressions? When the speaker is anxious and angry, that situation represented well with the gestures and the tone. So make sure that you keep a track of these aspects. These aspects come into picture more when there is a role play involved in the speech, when there are two or more characters in a speech, and this aspect will come out clearly in the speech. So make sure that you observe this tone aspect well. Now coming to the body language. So body language is a form of non-verbal communication in a speech. So it could be eye contact, your stage movement, your hand gestures, or facial expression. Check out whether the speaker is looking at the audience and speaking, or is his or her eye contact falling down, or is the stage movement appropriate to the speech? Every speech do not require a stage movement. For example, if a speaker is speaking about a speech which has his past, present, and future personal experiences, yes, that can take different stage movement. For example, one part of a stage for past, one for present, and one for future. But if the speaker is just giving a presentation, he can just stand on left or right side of a stage and give the presentation. That don't necessarily require a stage movement. So make sure you identify the type of speech and then decide upon the stage movement aspect. Coming to gestures, the hand gestures, it could be wide, it could be low. Make sure it is appropriate to the words that are being spoken. Facial expressions, again, it goes well with the tone. If a person is happy, does the facial expression show that happiness? If it is sad, does it show that sadness? So make sure that you even observe the facial expressions clearly. Now coming to the conclusion aspect of a speech. So what does the speaker want the audience to do after he or she has finished the speech? What is the takeaway message for the audience? Make sure that the speech has a conclusion. Conclusion in the sense the speaker has given a summary of all the points he or she has mentioned in the speech. And that summary should come in a smooth manner. It should not be abrupt. For example, the speaker says, to conclude, or overall, now here comes the gist of the speech. So this is the takeaway. Some words of phrasing to indicate a smooth conclusion. And the speech, whether it had a message, not all speeches require a message, especially if you're sharing a personal experience. But if you can identify a message and point it out, if it's a good message, that's well and good. And are there any other call to action, like in a persuasive speech, the speaker can end by saying that, will you all adopt this habit? If you want to be healthy, you have to adopt these habits. So this forms a very good call to action for the audience. Now coming to the use of props. Props could be anything, like a flower, like a matchstick, like a pen, pencil, but make sure that the use is justified. It is appropriate to the message that is being delivered. For example, if I have to take Dhananjay Hitaraki's World Championship speech, he used the flower as an analogy to his life. So the prop should be justified for that occasion. So, and if it is innovative, you can really point it out. Now coming to the language. Based on the audience, is the speaker's language easy to understand? Has the speaker used clear phrases, or was it too long or too short or very difficult to understand? Was the word choice appropriate to the level of the audience? You will use different words to address a school-going student and audience of graduates or an audience of professors. So make sure the language of the speech is appropriate to the audience present. Now coming to the grammar aspect, and make sure you point out this grammar aspect only if you feel that it forms more than 50% of his speech, the grammar is not proper. If it is less than 20-30%, if it affects the speech, you need not point it out. But if it forms a major part of the speech impediment, then you can point it out. Now coming to the pronunciation aspect. Again, pronunciation, it's a minor aspect which you need to point out only if it forms a major part of the speech impediment. Otherwise, you can leave this aspect. Now, we have looked at all the major aspects that you need to keep in mind in a speech, but some other aspects which you can point out is, how is the speaker interacting with the audience? Maybe he or she has started with a question. That's an innovative way. And the speaker has used the callback phrase or callback gestures. Again, I'll take Dhananjay Hitaraki's speech. The speaker used the phrase, I see something in you. Every while he was using the phrase, and to tell that how each person saw something in him, he was repeatedly using that phrase, and everyone could relate to as to what is the life struggle the speaker is going through. So watch out for all these callback gestures or callback phrases. Now we have finished the major aspects of a speech that you need to observe and analyze. Now comes the interesting aspect of delivering. How do you deliver a speech? And as you all know, speech evaluation is for 2 to 3 minutes. How do you condense all this information, and how do you deliver a crisp and clear evaluation? First, you start with a one-line introduction. It could be anything from the opening of a speech to the type of speech. Just mention that the speaker's speech was informative or persuasive or humorous, and the opening was mind-blowing or scintillating, and it was very relatable. Just start with the one-line introduction, then tell 2 to 3 positive points. And make sure that you are taking 2 to 3 very crucial points which had a major impact on the speech. It could be body language, it could be structuring, it could be transitions, it could be voice modulation. But make sure you complete it within 1 minute 20 seconds. Why is this so that you need to take less time for positive points? Because the ballot of a speech evaluation contest that more focuses on giving constructive feedback. The suggestions carry more points. So you need to spend more time in giving the feedback points. And for that, you need to select 2 to 3 major improvement points. And if you think that the point is very minor aspect of the speech that can be ignored, don't touch it. If it forms a major aspect of the speech, for example, the speaker has not arranged the ideas in a chronological order, you can point it out. If there were 2 to 3 characters in the speech and the voice modulation didn't come out as expected, you can tell the speaker to improve upon the voice modulation. After suggesting the improvement points, then finish with one positive point, because here at Toastmasters use CRCS approach or CRS approach. For people who are new to this approach, let me just explain in brief. CRCS approach is the commendation, recommendation, commendation, and summary approach. You start by giving positive points, you give recommendation, then again give the commendation and summarize the speech. Coming to CRS, you give commendations, recommendations, and then you summarize the speech. Now, moving ahead with delivering your evaluation, make sure that you use encouraging words, because as I mentioned before, you need to encourage the speaker to come forward and give his speech again and again. He or she should not be discouraged with the feedback. So for that, you need to use certain positive words while giving feedback. For example, if the eye contact was not good, don't say it directly like the eye contact was not good, the eye contact was boring. No. Just take a diplomatic stand and say the eye contact can be improved with practice. And not just say what is the issue with the speech, also show the speaker how he or she can improve upon, because in the ballot there are 40 marks for giving analytical feedback, the recommendations, and more weightage is given to how you show the speaker how to improve. Here, if I have to give the feedback of how the speaker has to improve the eye contact, I would probably say the speaker, to improve the eye contact, probably you can first focus on one part of the audience, choose a person and look at the person for 30 seconds, then move to the other part of the audience, choose a person, look at that person for 30 seconds, and continue it in the same fashion. So this gives a concrete feedback for the speaker to improve upon. Second example, if I have to give, if the speaker hasn't included voice modulation for 2-3 characters mentioned. So you can say that you can start with a positive way, saying that you have very good characters in your story. The character of mom, dad, and the child was well portrayed. Probably, if you can improve upon the voice modulation aspect, this speech will come a full circle and the speech will be complete. So this takes a very encouraging, compassionate, and positive tone. And another mistake what we make is we try to repeat the speaker's words. Suppose the speaker has shared a story, we try to replay the story and tell the exact words. When you do that, you waste a lot of time in giving the evaluation. You hardly have 2 to 3 minutes. Instead of repeating the same words, interpret it. You can say the story was very relatable. The story reminded me of something. And so it is very crucial in today's world. So interpret it. Don't repeat the speaker's words. And evaluate the speech, not the speaker. Don't evaluate the speaker's style or mannerisms. Don't evaluate the speaker's message. The speaker has every right to have an opinion. Don't interpret it as right or wrong. You just have to evaluate the speaker on the basic crafts of the speech. And when you're evaluating the speaker, don't take the speaker's name. Mr. Rohan's speech was good. No, the speaker gave a good speech. Use the speaker. And the most important aspect is be natural in your delivery. We sometimes tend to evaluate the other speakers. Don't get carried away. Believe in your own natural delivery. If your content and the analysis is strong, trust me, you will win it through. And if you have some innovative observations which no other evaluator has, you will definitely make it. Make sure that be genuine and natural in your delivery. So this is a speech evaluator's cheat sheet, which I used to follow when I was in the evaluation contest. I used to write down the speech title right at the beginning, then the type of speech. And I used to divide the paper into two parts, one for the positive points, one for the improvement points. Maximum give 3 positive points, 3 improvement areas. Then to the final commendation, give 1 final commendation, then summarize your speech. When you organize your speech preparation in this fashion, you won't be jumbling to find the evaluation points. It will be organized and you'll have a proper flow while delivering the speech evaluation. Let me now also walk you through the speech evaluation contest ballot. Yeah, this is the judges ballot for the speech evaluation contest. As you can see, maximum marks awarded to analytical quality. That is how well you have observed and how well you have analyzed the different aspects of the speech. That is 40 marks. Maximum is 40 marks for that. And recommendations, as I mentioned before, focus more on recommendations. Take it because it carries 30 marks. And make sure that recommendations are positive, helpful, and make sure you show the speaker how to improve upon. And now comes the technique. If you are using a sympathetic, if you're using a compassionate, and if you're using positive words, you stand more chance over the other evaluators. And summation is also very important. Sometimes because of time crunch, we forget to summarize because it carries 15 marks up. Summary of 10 to 20 seconds will give you 15 marks. So make sure you keep all these aspects in mind. So here I come to the end of my module. If any of you have any questions, I'm happy to answer it.
Maybe I have one question. Thank you so much for the very educational module. There's a lot of learning packed into it. My question is, in a club setting, after prepared speeches, an evaluator generally has a good 20-25 minutes, because table topics happen and then G starts. So the evaluator has some time, but in a contest, when you have to evaluate immediately and 5 minutes after that, you have to present. How do you maintain that same composure? How do you, what is your mindset for, just acing that part of the evaluation?
This is a very good question, Rohan. Even I faced this issue during the evaluation contest. What I used to do is that 5 minutes, I try to be quick in evaluating, writing down and organizing. Maybe before the contest starts, 1-2 minutes also, if you get that time, you can start mentally preparing and form some acronyms and keep 1 point, form an acronym. If you have 4 to 5 points, form an acronym and start revising using that acronym. Then there are better chances that you will remember. And overall, if I have to say, make use of that 5 minutes, at least 1 or 2 minutes, make use to mentally prepare if you are the first contestant. This applies if you are generally the first contestant.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Devi. The content throughout was so engaging that I'm already excited to deliver an evaluation using these tips. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time. It was really nice listening to all your experiences. I'm sure it'll help all of us to work on our evaluation skills. All right, so now we move on to our next